I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, and that's okay. I think I can handle it. My name is Mr. Deadman. I'm the host of the Deadman's Tone podcast. It's a live show every Monday, Wednesday, Friday nights at 9:30, where I talk about horror and related things. Not really stuff like this, but it could happen here and there. There's a lot of talk about defunding the police, dismantling the police. We hear about law enforcement not even showing up to work, having what they call a blue flu, and why would they even bother at this point? What happened with George Floyd is horrible, and the people responsible have been detained and been charged, and they're waiting their trial. Justice is being served. What happened with Rayshard Brooks? That's a messy situation. Some people call it murder because he was shot while he was running away. He had a taser, and he was pointing at one of the officers, and he was going to fire. He did shoot. He missed. Messy situation. He just wrestled two cops. If you do that, you're probably going to get tased or probably going to get shot. But either way, that's not a George Floyd situation at all. And felony homicide? Whoa! Big charge. Overreaching. Way overreaching. You may disagree with that. Let me know why in the comment section. But one thing I want to talk about here is, and I think the reason why some people may disagree with what's going on with my opinion with what happened with Rayshard Brooks, is there's like this dehumanization of law enforcement. Like law enforcement just seem like, oh, their lives don't matter. But their lives do matter. Blue lives do matter. But if you say that, you're seen as racist. Because the other narrative, the liberal narrative, is that law enforcement are nothing but killing machines. They kill black people, which is weird because more black people kill black people than cops do. That is true. Look up that stat. Look up that stat before you come at me about that. And when law enforcement isn't allowed to do their job, when they just are being dismantled or defunded, or when they walk away, crime goes up. And we've seen that. We're seeing that now. Crime, homicide, burglary are going up through the roof. There is no police presence anymore in these areas, like in Chicago or whatever. So the criminals know that. They know that. Now they are running the show. And no one can stop them. Now, I want to take some time and talk about the lives that are affected. I want to talk about some of the officers that have fallen. You see, I think people don't understand. They don't see it. So I want to talk about that here. This is Officer Tiffany Victoria Balan Enriquez. She lived in Hawaii. She's dead. She died. She got shot because, why? She showed up to an incident. She was called about a domestic disturbance between, the tenant. The landlord had an altercation with the tenant, and the tenant killed the landlord, stabbed her. Officer Enriquez arrived on the scene and tended to the victim outside the home, and as she and other officers walked towards the house, the man opened fire and killed her. No one protested about this death. No one rioted about her death, I guess because she's not minority enough. I guess not all minority lives matter, especially when they have the shield on their chest, huh? And she had daughters. She had 3 daughters and 1 grandson. But I guess her life doesn't matter. What about Sergeant Rasheen Felipe McLean? He was shot and killed, responding to a domestic violence situation. Shot and killed. No one rioted about this guy. No one looted about this guy, about his death. And he had a wife and 3 stepchildren. But no one cared. You got Mr. Sanchez here. Mr. Sanchez, Hispanic. But I guess Hispanic lives don't matter, especially when they have the shield on their chest. I guess it doesn't matter that he was killed, shot and killed on duty. I guess it doesn't matter. He was responding to a hit and run. And as he was chasing the suspect, he located the suspect. And as he approached, the suspect shot him. People think law enforcement is just like a piece of cake, easy job. They'd be like, oh, violent crime is going down. Please have it easy. It's not what you think. The reason why police are so jumpy and they think you're reaching for a gun when you're not is because they do get shot at quite a bit. Let's take a look at another minority life that doesn't matter to certain liberal types. Definitely to Black Lives Matter. Let me ask Black Lives Matter. Does Sergeant Waitasha Lamar Carter, does his life matter? Does it matter? Does it matter? Does it matter? Or is he a race traitor because he's wearing the badge? I think his life mattered. I wish I would have heard about it on the news. I wish I would have heard about it. Maybe we could have some sort of a protest about his death. Why do these people have to keep on shooting at black cops? Or cops in general? If criminals would just not shoot at cops, it would be great, wouldn't it? If criminals would just not shoot at cops, it would be peachy. Things would be great. Yeah. He had a wife and child. He had a wife and child. Now that child has no father. The child has no father. What about police officer? I'm going to try his name. Chetri? I don't know. Miss Payne. Officer Payne. She only served 3 months. 3 months, and she was shot and killed. She was shot and killed. Where's the protest for her? Where's the mourning for her? Where are the riots and looting for her? I mean, don't riot and loot for anyone in anyone's name. I think that's horrible. What about Corona? Miss Corona. Be like, oh, she looks white. She looks white. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? But Corona was killed. Corona was shot and killed. Not the. I know what it sounds like. Not the virus. Let's be serious here. She was shot and killed. And it's just, no one cares. No one cares. Deputy Sheriff Contreras Taylor. He was shot and killed. He was only 27 years old. Actually, I think his was an auto crash. Either way, he was killed. He was killed when he was on duty. He was killed when he was on duty. And where was the protest for him? Right? None. There was none. What about Dornell Cowsett? For 13 years, he served on the force. He was trying to deliver looks like a subpoena. Let's see, the subject was wanted for failing to appear in prior felony charges and had been located at his home by a bondsman. When investigator Cosette arrived at the scene to assist, the man ran inside the home, and the investigator pursued him, where the man opened fire. It struck the investigator in the face. Where was the outrage for his death? There wasn't one. What about this guy? Deputy Sheriff Sandeep Singh Dhaliwal. This is in Houston. This is in Houston. I remember this one. I remember this one. When Deputy Lahua was returning to his patrol car, one of the passengers exited the vehicle, ran toward him while opening fire. It was a traffic stop. It was just a traffic stop. And the passenger of that vehicle got out and shot him. It was just a traffic stop. It wasn't even a drug bust. It was just a traffic stop. Look, I get it that there's some cops out there that are horrible and they do horrible things. One thing we have to take into account is what is the policy that is making it. One thing we need to take account is the policy behind it. Are there certain policies and procedures that the police are engaging in, are following, that need to be changed? After all, I mean, if they're following policy and they end up killing someone, then really, is it the officer or is it the policy? But there are some cops out there, some, that just, for other reasons, for various reasons, they just want to hurt someone. They're just bad people. Okay, that happens. But it's not all of them. It's not all police. It's not all of them at all. And this crazy thing to just dehumanize police, judge them all because there's a few bad actors, is just horrible. That is just horrible to me. Yeah, it is true that unarmed blacks and unarmed whites are a pretty big number of those that get shot by police. Yes. Now, there's another thing about that is true. That just because someone is unarmed doesn't mean that they're not a threat. Now, you might think, how can that be? What's going on? What is the unarmed person doing? What are they doing? Are they high on PCP and charging at the officer, where a taser's not going to work? Like, we've seen that. We know that. If someone's high on PCP like that, not even a billy club to the face is going to work. You might have to end up shooting that person. And be honest, if they made the bad choice to be on PCP, then they probably made some other bad choice in their life too. Wow. Like, whoa, what a horrible take, Mr. Deadman. I mean, really? I mean, even Rayshard Brooks. People say, oh, he was a great person. He was a father. Really? He beat his kids. He wasn't a good father. He was charged for beating his kids. Good father, my ass. If you're a good father, why would you be charged for beating your kids? What happened there, huh? Anyway, these lives matter. These lives matter. Even though they're officers, they matter. And every day, officers get shot at. The job is extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. It could just be a routine traffic stop, and just because you are Muslim, you're going to get shot and killed. And who did it? Was it a white guy? You look at, it is white. He looks kind of like a Hispanic white, light-skinned Hispanic. But why does that matter? To me, that doesn't matter. Anyway, let me know what y'all think about this. Y'all take it easy.